Right, now, some of you who subscribe to my videos may have realised that I have deleted a lot of the recap videos. I don't see now the point in really doing recap videos sort of about 2 days after I've done prediction videos for UFC events. So the rule now that I'm going to use is that I will continue to do predictions, but I won't do a follow-up unless there's something interesting to talk about. I do actually get to see the fights quite soon after the event now, because I have Setanta Sports 1 and 2. So that helps, because obviously there was also a little problem with gaps between the event and then sort of a week later doing a recap. Well, who cares, you know, a week after something has happened. Yes, my predictions are all online for events, and you can sort of see how well I do yourself. I don't need to recap that. Having said that, there are a couple of things that I want to talk about this past UFC that we've just had in Birmingham. Firstly, to say I am a little bit sad. Okay, I'm absolutely gutted really that Jess Liaudin lost another decision. I still haven't been able to see that fight because it was not one that was aired on Setanta Sports, unfortunately. So I have no idea how close it was. I've seen some of the pictures from it, and you know, they look pretty good, but then they are pictures that are hosted on Liaudin's MySpace, so you know, you don't know where the other side to it, do you? I don't know, because I haven't spoken to him yet, what's going to happen. I hope they don't sort of get rid of him, because it is his third loss in a row as far as I understand. However, one of them was a very, very close split decision in London. So I don't know what's going on there, but a bit gutted, bit concerned. Hopefully we'll get in touch with him and find out what's going on there. Another thing is that, as far as I'm concerned, on the scoreboard, I do not understand how Chris Lytle managed to win his match. I do feel it was a very, very close event. You'll also remember that I did choose Lytle to win that bout. I actually chose him to win by submission. So I'm going against my own pick here, but having seen the fight, I think it was a split decision the other way. I say it was certainly a split decision. It was very, very close. I don't really know what the judges there were thinking, and you know, I'm always wary of a decision victory. I don't like fights that go to decision, particularly because I worry about the outcome of that being not entirely based on the match. Call me cynical, but you know, Bisping Hamill in London just did it for me, to be honest. So anyway, yeah. Still, the judge's decision is final there, but I mean, I like Chris, and I did choose him to win. I just, after watching the match, would have scored it differently. Vera, there's been a lot of people on the forum saying that he should be cut and that they were disappointed in his performance. I don't understand why. I watched the fight. I am okay with the decision going to Jardine. You know, I think it was pretty close, but I'm not too bothered about that. But I can't understand how people seem to think that he's not very good. He's had a bad run of it recently. He has had a bad run of it. That is, you know, that can't be denied. But you know, I mean, one of the I think it was again UFC 85 in London, where, you know, Verdum, who doesn't quite understand English, was telling us about how he verbally submitted, and he was saying, no, actually I wasn't verbally submitting, I was saying something completely different. And how would Verdum know if he's not got, you know, a decent grasp of English in that manner? Then he doesn't know what. So I just think that you know, Brandon Vera has drawn a short straw recently, and it's not completely his fault. Yes, I hope they don't cut him, although this isn't his third loss in a row. I think it's just his third loss in the UFC, having only won 1 in the past 4. I could be wrong because I looked at that's from memory, but there we are. Finally, I'd like to just spend 2 seconds talking about the main event. People will know that I'm not a big fan of Michael Bisping. I don't like him. I admit he's a reasonable fighter. I don't necessarily think he's the best fighter in England. He may be the ambassador, so to speak, for England in the UFC. But I think he talks far too much smack. I think he comes across as a bit of a sort of hooligan, and I'm just not supportive of that attitude. Now, I noticed after the fight that there was a completely different style of talking in his post-fight interview, which was far more humble and far more sort of gracious. I'm waiting to see how that develops. The same with Lieben, okay, he was very, very, humble in defeat, and that's fine, but I want to see if this is something that he will keep up, or if this is just a new fad, like a different hair colour for him, so we'll see. I have no problem in the decision going to Michael Bisping. I do think that he probably won that bout. I haven't got a problem with that. My problem is that, as I said in my predictions video, the only way for him to win, I thought, would be by decision. I didn't think he'd have the power in the hands to KO Lieben with his chin. I didn't really see him doing a TKO because of Lieben moving so fast and being so explosive. And he sure as hell wasn't going to submit him, so I thought, well, the only way he's really going to win is going to be if he takes it to decision. I was horrified, basically, to find out that in his post-fight interview he admitted that the whole game plan was never to try and finish Lieben. It never was. It was to score points, with fancy footwork and backing off while still sort of striking forwards to win a decision. I have a problem with people who play to not to lose rather than to win. Actually, I don't really mind too much on that, but I do happen to notice the double standards. When Tim Sylvia used to do that, people demonised him. When Mikada does it, people say he's boring. When Michael Bisping does it, everybody still loves him. And it just bugs me that there's this sort of double standards in what people can get away with. The wrestlers are always said to be boring because all they do is lay and pray, and that leads them to a decision victory, and that's not good. But what Michael Bisping did in admitting to the world that he did a game plan specifically to take it all the way to decision, nobody's got a problem with that. I can't understand it myself. There we are.